Yes.
See what that is?
No.
That's the atom bomb on Japan.
That's the atom bomb on
Oh
Japan.
yes. Yeah. Where did you get that?
My mate sent them from Japan to me.
Went over the BCOE.
Yes.
There's my citation. There's that thing
Oh,
there.
the same one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can have that one because if I wanted, I can just take that out.
Thank you.
You don't have to put it in.
Now, is there a picture there of you in uniform?
21 and I'm 84. That's a long time, isn't it?
I think I'll get you to say that, yeah. Gotcha. It's my privilege to be interviewing Roma Lawlor, who was a member of the 2nd 3rd Motor Ambulance Convoy, a unit which was deployed into Malaya prior to the advent or the entry of the Japanese into the Second World War. He was in that area during the period that the Japanese pushed the troops down the Malayan Peninsula and back into Singapore. Following capitulation, he worked in the Australian hospital in Changi Barracks, or correction, in Roberts Barracks, and he was subsequently chosen as a member of K-Force, a force of 30 odd doctors and something like 200 medical orderlies who were sent to Thailand and Burma to care for the Coolies. Arthur, thank you very, very much for giving me your time to do this interview. Could we start by just telling us what your background was, what was your employment prior to enlistment, and how did you get into the 2nd 3rd Motor Ambulance Convoy?
Well, I worked on the railway first as a shop boy, which is, and then I went into the army in March 1941 at Norellan, and then I transferred to the 2nd 8th Army Hospital at Liverpool, wasn't it? No.
Ingleburn or
Ingleburn.
Yes.
Ingleburn, yes. Yeah. Then I joined up with the 2nd 3rd MAC there, and we left to go to Malaya, and our transport was already over there, and we made up the medical orderlies to go with them. We went from Singapore to Kajang, and from Kajang up to Ipoh, from Ipoh up, when the war started, up to Crow, just on the Burma, on the Thailand border.
Right, now that, when you say when the war started, it's around the time of the 8th of December 1941.
Yes. Yeah.
And what units were you in support of at that stage?
3rd Indian Dib and Cameron Highlands, I think, or one of the...
It will be either the Gordons or the Argyle and Sutherlands.
Argyles.
The Argyles,
yes,
yep.
yes.
Now they were up there under Operation Matador, which was supposed to interfere with the Japanese invasion, but in fact they loitered in the area of the border, and therefore weren't effective.
No. And then they started the war then, and we started to retreat and kept retreating.
Yeah. Now, how did you, when you picked up casualties, where did you take your casualties
to the CCS, and then they went from the CCS down to the hospital.
Yes.
Yes.
And which doctors did you have with you? You were in B section, were you?
I was in B section,
yeah. Yeah.
Captain Brennan was our doctor.
Yes.
Yes.
And what sort of an officer was he?
Oh, quite good. He's only a young man just out of university. he ended up being sent to Japan, and he did very good work in Japan. But no, he was quite good in. But as I say, he's only a young doctor out of university, but he got a lot of experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did say that Des Brennan went to Japan. He probably went to Japan at one stage, but he actually ended up in Manchuria.
Did he?
Yes.
I didn't know he ended
with the
up
senior
in
officers over there. Yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Then when the Japanese were pushing the Allied troops right down the peninsula, and you get to the point at which you cross the causeway to go back into into Singapore itself proper, or Singapore Island.
Yes.
Do you remember anything about those days around the border?
Oh.
Sorry, around the causeway?
Yes. Just before the causeway was blown, they wanted volunteers, ambulances, to go and pick up some the wounded over at Johor Bahru, and we were over there and picked up different ones, and then the last couple of ambulances over the causeway, and then they blew it, but we were the last couple of ambulances over.
So that was you and Bobby Shoebridge?
Yes, and Tilson, and Bobby Grant.
Yes.
Yes, they were the ones.
Now, one thing that I didn't ask you was, during the period that you were, the troops were being forced back down the peninsula, did you have any experience of the Japanese aircraft strafing your convoys or anything like that?
Yes, yes, all the time.
Yeah. How did you get around that?
Well, dive for cover anywhere to save ourselves, and lay flat on the ground if you couldn't find any cover, and hope that the bombs didn't land on you.
Yes, yeah.
That's all you could do.
As a rule, Arthur, what was the number of the ambulance that you were attached to?
My lot was 20 to 25.
Yes.
That was my 5 ambulances. One orderly to 5 ambulances.
Oh, heavens. That's a very low percentage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, once the capitulation had taken place, where did you work?
I worked at in the Adelphi Hotel, and then we went over to St Andrew's Cathedral, and that's when the war ended.
Yes.
And we stood out in front of near St Andrew's Cathedral while the Japs paraded through with their cameras going and that, and the war was over.
Yes, yeah.
And then when we went over to St Andrew's Cathedral, they greeted us with 2 Chinese heads on bamboo to go through the gate, and we thought, well, how are we going to be treated by these blokes?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Now, when the troops were moved out, now, this is an important point. When capitulation took place, this is my understanding, you would know the name Colonel Glyn White, no doubt.
Yes.
He was the person responsible for getting all the patients out to some medical facility.
That's right.
And initially he was given 5 ambulances and 2 days to shift them. But eventually he managed to get something like 75 vehicles and got 7 days to shift them. Now you were involved, I think, in the movement of them.
Taking them out to Roberts Barracks.
Yes.
Yes.
And you were told not to take any equipment or drugs.
No.
Did you comply with that direction?
Well, what we had in our ambulances, we took out.
Yes.
Yes. But otherwise we didn't go looking for other drugs to take out, only what we had in our ambulance.
Did your drivers have to have a pass to be able to move around Singapore and do the collection?
No, they just drove around. but we had to march out, well not march, walk out to Changi.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Now, when you were in Roberts Barracks, which was a hospital camp,
Yeah.
which ward did you work in?
Oh, there's different wards in the big buildings, but down at Nafi, that was skins and different diseases. The other wards were medical and surgical and so forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, is that where you met Bill Flowers? Or when did you meet up with Bill Flowers? The 2nd 9th Field Ambulance Man?
Well, the 2nd 9th, when we became known as the Australian General Hospital, we were, all the medical units were together. The CCS and the 10th Field Ambulances and all the different ones. And we just combined AGH. And I think there's a second 9th ambulance. He was one of the sergeants down in Nafi, which was the skin ward and that, and the different other wards I had. We all had to work in them, and we had to attend lectures with our doctors to keep us up to date because there was no nurses. Had to be the nurses.
When did you have contact with Major Bruce Hunt?
He was in Nafi ward. That's when I first met him. We had 2 floors. One of the wards upstairs was contagious diseases like meningitis and things like that. That's where we met Ted Myers. And Major Hunt was in charge of that ward when I worked with him.
Was he a good person to work with?
Yes, yeah, very thorough. Not really strict, but he told you what you had to do, and then as you went around the patients and you come back, you had to check with him to see that all the things that had to be done to the patients was that. Yes, he was quite a good doctor.
Any other Australian doctors that you recall who were working there at the time?
Oh, Captain Frew and Driverman, and I didn't really work with Tim Hogg then. I didn't know Tim Hogg then until we went up country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we might now move forward because you were in Changi from correction. You're in the Changi area from capitulation in February 42 till, was it May 1943 when you were advised that you were going north as part of K-Force?
No, I don't know, I've got the date down there. We went up country, up to Thailand, then through to Burma. I don't know the time.
No. Do you want to refer to your diary?
Yes, I will.
It's as well to get it right.
Yeah, I left Singapore, Changi Roberts Barrett, in 42, and then went from Changi to Thailand in June 1943.
June 43, thank you. Yeah. Now that was, most people only had a 4 or 5 day train journey up there.
Yes.
And then they in the case of Air Force, they started walking from Ban Pong.
Yeah.
But you had a different experience, didn't you?
Oh, we went up by cattle truck.
Yes.
And then once we left Bangkok, we were in open trucks.
Now why did you go into Bangkok instead of Ban Pong?
Because they wanted the railway cleared for all the troops to go through.
Yes.
And we were only prisoners, so we just shunted into the big marshalling yards at Bangkok. And we was there for a day or two.
Yes.
And that, which was